It is about the time of John McGraw, Iron Man McGinty, and Christy Mathewson. The time of Walter Johnson, of Rube Marquardt, Tommy Leach, and Honus Wagner. All these were honored in their generation and were the glory of their time.
He played 19 years with the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Chicago Cubs, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Louisville Colonels in the National League. His outstanding career was made mostly with the Pirates, as he is 9th in games played, at-bats, runs, and singles, and was 6th in stolen bases, and 7th in triples. Leach joins Willie Stargell from 1971 to 73 and Ralph Kiner from 1946 to 52 as the only Pirates to ever to lead the National League in home runs. Now, he led the home runs with 6 in 1902, and what was so unusual about this was that all were of the inside-the-park variety, as he was blessed with excellent speed.
Realizing that this was a golden opportunity to prove the superiority of his new league, Van Johnson ordered the Boston owner to beat Pittsburgh.
That was probably the wildest series ever played. Arguing all the time between the teams, between the players and the umpires, and especially between the players and the fans. That's the truth. The fans were part of the game in those days. They'd pour right out onto the field and argue with the players and the umpires. It was sort of hard to keep the game going sometimes, to say the least. Tommy Leach.
Think back to that very first World Series. Was that how different was that from the event that's now the World Series?
It wasn't publicized as much. In the first place, we didn't have the big ballparks. Second place, the prices. 25, 50, 75, $1, and $1.50.
Huh.
Now it go up as high as $10, don't they?
Yeah.
Some,
But the rivalry was pretty keen then.
yeah, of course we didn't want the American League to win, but we didn't have no pitchers. That's when we lost Chesbro and Tannehill. If we'd had Chesbro and Tannehill, I believe we'd have won it, but we didn't.
How does Chesbro compare with Cy Young as a pitcher?
Just as good.
What'd your father think about you becoming a professional baseball player?
Oh, he pushed it.
He did.
Oh, yeah. I was working for him. That's what another advantage I had. He said, you get out of here and go. He said, look where Delahanty is. That's all he could get was Delahanty. That's all we thought of, Delahanty. But when Delahanty, he used to hang out in that firehouse, and I'm trying to think of the name of the town, but he could always hit. And they came up there. Somebody had recommended him. I remember the pitcher. He and Delahanty used to be a battery. He'd go around here and there and maybe make a couple of dollars apiece. And that's how he got the reputation, you see. Mm-hmm. Then they come up there after him, but instead of going to his home, they went to this firehouse where they were told that he hung out all the time. So he told them sure he'd go if they'd take this pitcher. He wanted his buddy with him. Now this is a story my father had told me. Well, he didn't come home one night, and the old folks right away come to my father. Want to know about him, what to do. They said they found out he was playing in this baseball in this town. They wanted him back home. They wanted my father to go get him. And of course I was a kid in short pants, but I was always hanging around. My father and I were sort of buddies. And working for him and everything, and I was pretty close to him. I never will forget it. Mrs. Delahanty, she was an old Irish woman. He was an old Irish paddy. And we used to sit around and we liked to hear them talk. And she got on my father, now I want you to go get Ed and bring him home. Bring him home. He ain't got no business there. My father started to laugh. He said, listen, you got a boy who will never work. He tells you he's working, and what's he doing? He's out playing ball someplace. Give him a chance, maybe he can make that grade. And he wouldn't go after him. Well, he played that season, and he was sold to Philadelphia as a catcher. Now, a lot of this is hearsay. A lot of it well, of course, I was a great admirer of his anyway, and liked the boys. We was always around together. And he, well, Sundays, we had to put a sentinel out, and we had a couple of good policemen on the beat. And if they got within hearing distance of us, they'd start to whistle. Well, then we'd have to duck. And then they'd go on around and look around and then go on about their business. And then we'd come back and we'd play our game.
No Sunday baseball.
Yeah, no Sunday baseball and nothing. And the second year, Ed was sold, but they never let him catch. They put him in the outfield. Lord, he went right on, jumped right up the top and hit him.
Yeah.
And that made it that much more that I wanted to play ball. So I went down with this fella to Hanover. I couldn't hit a lick on earth. One day, as young as I was, I never forgot it. I struck out 4 straight times. And a fella had well, that's when they used to have these rail fences. And somewhere he got a piece of a rail about that long. And he brought it out and presented to me at the home plate. And I didn't even have sense enough to get mad. I just took it and went along.
You only got to be a big league ball player. Did you really, were you surprised that you made the big leagues?
No, I figured I had it coming.
Yeah?
Yeah, I worked for it and give up everything else for it.
Yeah.
So I really thought I was entitled to it.
Did your father see you play? Your mother see you play?
No, my father, yeah, my mother saw me play an exhibition game in Cleveland. We went in there one time to play an exhibition game, and I got word to her to meet me at the ballpark.
Your father, you say, encouraged you so much to
Oh yeah, but he died.
Oh, that's too bad. Before you were a big league ball player.
I was always trying to figure what I should do to make up for lack of hitting.
You never thought then that you'd get over 2,000 hits in the big league, did you?
No, no. But that was my ambition. I made up my mind, I was 18 then. If I couldn't get in the league by the time I was 21, I'd quit, get into something else. Because I never had a chance to go to school. Nobody did in those days, about 12, 14 years old, and you was out of school working.